Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. Today we'll be having a look at a game called Sprocket. Now I have played this game before, quite a while now, but I think today I will make a video about it. So I really enjoy this game. So the basic premise of this game is you design tanks. And who wouldn't want to design tanks? Come on, it's a tank. So let's first have a look at scenarios. Here you will select the different maps, and each map is like a different era you can for your tanks, and you have certain objectives you have to complete in order to beat the map or beat the scenario and move on to the next. Provides interesting challenges, challenge for any tanker. Next up we have the custom battles, where you can first off select your vehicles, create a lineup of your vehicles, and then do the same for the AI and then put them against each other. Great way to test your vehicles against your other vehicles. Next up we have the sandbox. Here you can design your tanks freely and then test them out. So this is just a one I made long ago. It's a very simple build, but yeah. Here you can test your vehicle, modify it, improve it, change it, all depending on what you want. And you can also bring in an enemy to also test how good your vehicle is, and it really did. How simple and easy of that. It has also got a interesting area where you can test your vehicle against off-road capabilities and climbing hills and going through water and stuff. So going back to the main menu, sandbox flat, basically the same, is now just a flat area. As you can see, it will spawn one other version of your tank next to you, and you can spawn in a few enemies as well, as you can see. And then spawn some enemies over there. And with the showroom is just where you can show off your tank. You can also do modifications and such over here as well. But here it is in the dark, and you can test out your light. And that's as simple as it is. And then here you can create different factions, so your stuff isn't confusing, so you can categorize them if you want. So if we go and back to the creator itself, or design rather, you can see different sliders over here which you can change and select. So let's first do a new design. Then you can either move this around, move these sliders, however you please, change the angles, height, steps, and if you go over here, you can change the armor thickness. So it can be very thick or very thin. Also here you can select the era, so rows from World War I, interwar, early war, mid-war, and late war. And there's certain things your tank needs, like of course it needs an engine, otherwise it can't move. It needs a turret, or at least a gun. So if you go over here, you just need to place a gun. It needs to have at least a kind of sight, and it needs to have a viewport for your driver. Simple and easy as that. Like here you can see the essentials. This is all your tank needs. It can literally just be this, as minimalistic if you want. And oh yeah, if you have a commander, you need to add a commander's cupola. Slap it in there. And also, if you have a cannon, you need to add the ammunition inside wherever it is. Functioning tank. It's bare bones, but yeah, just to show you how it works. And here you can select different paint schemes for your tanks, change the coloration, brightness, how much color it has, all that stuff, condition, go from forgotten and, yeah, left in the mud to brand spanking. You can also do singular colors. Simple as that. You can also add some decals and some flags. Also, you can do custom decals and paint, as you can see. Then the engines, also it differs from the era you are in. If you are in World War One, you will have a very weak engine compared to the same sized engine in interwar or late war. You can go here to the compartments, just quickly go through everything so you get the general hull shape. You can do freeform hulls, which you can individually control these either points, an edge, or even entire face. And you can move around. And you also have ability to add turrets, either a general one or you can do like freeform ones. Moving over to the firepower, first adding the gun mantlet, we have different choices. Some of them have integrated gunner sights, like I believe these two, this one and these two. They have integrated gunner sights, so you don't have to add one like this, we just have to add it. Then you can change the torque of your gun, how fast it elevates, the ratio at which rate it elevates. Here you go over and select your cannon caliber size, length of the propellant, this is more or less penetration, and also the barrel length and the thickness as well. And you can also add muzzle brakes. And you can change the thickness of the armor for the mantlet, the base of it. It's either more or less depending on what you need. Also, it has an effect on the space that you have available, and also the weight, because if you increase, this one doesn't do much because it's a small breach, but it can increase the weight of your vehicle. And here you just simply go and select where the ammo is stored. So you can either put it in the hull, make sure it is inside the tank, or you can add it into the turret. Hello, this is post-recording Arrow. While editing this, I have noticed that at some parts the audio has cut out. So basically what I'm just showing you here is that the closer the ammunition is placed to the breech, the quicker the reload is. The further away it is, the more time it will take for your loader to load the shells. Also, if it's in the hull, it will also generally be taking longer to reload. Also, if you see here, I'm just basically showing you how you can customize your tank and fiddle around with stuff like the suspension, transmission, the engines, and other stuff like that. So here I am showing you how you can change the sprocket wheel, and then you can also change the sprocket mount, the idler wheel, the idler mount, the road wheels, your suspension. So you can have like the Sherman or the Panthers type of suspension, or you can change the turn rollers, and you can change the track segments. And you can also add spare tracks or spare road wheels to your vehicle, and they add an armor value. It's small, but still there. That would help you protect your tank. Yeah, I'm just fiddling with the settings you can do for your tracks and suspension and stuff. All of these things you can just go under mobility and then test out for yourself to see what works and what doesn't, how you want it to be and how not. Keep in mind this game is still in development, so what you see on the screen might not be how it is in the live version, and it might also differ from the experimental version. Yeah, I'm just speeding up the footage for you so you can skip the boring bit. and then I'm going to go and explain that the tank has fuel, which you can put inside the tank, specify how much, which adds weight, and then you can also add external fuel tanks to your tank. External fuel tanks that you can change the size of, either larger or smaller, or extra fuel, and here you can specify where the fuel is located. One thing I forgot to mention with the engine is you can select the exhaust, how it looks like, and where to put it, size, and then also you can go and select some vents. Then lastly, for the mobility, your defenders, that's these things on the sides. You can either make them wider, smaller, move them around a lot, all to your liking. And you can also change the offset, the angles, and how large it is, all that stuff. You can also select how it's formed. And in the front section. And you can also place some run ones wherever you please, if you have the place anywhere selection on. Also, there are riveted panels which you can stuff like that. I'm just showing you how it works, not making actual tank in this video. Might do that in the next video. Stay tuned. Then moving over to the crew. Now you can add like hatches and stuff for your crew members. So you can slap one here, one on top. Yeah, you have selection of 3 here so far. Viewports. Got the driver's viewport. Very important, you need him. Gunner's viewport. Also important if you don't have a mantlet that has an integrated gunner sight. And then you can add these which have so here I'm basically just saying that your commander will always be placed with the cupola, and if you have a commander you need it. And also your commander gives your crew stats. So if he has to do more than one job as a commander, maybe say a loader or a gunner or a radio man, you will get a debuff on your crew which will affect their efficiency or how good they can do their job. And here you can see if you change the space of your crew, they will also get a debuff if they don't have enough space, or get a buff if you increase their space available. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that the radio man needs an antenna on the tank, otherwise your range for tanks communicating with each other will be decreased. So keep that warning on the screen. The rest of these things you can see on the screen are just more cosmetic things, like the storage boxes, the lights. They do function. The utilities, anti-infantry, unfortunately they are not working, just for decoration purposes. Some structural stuff, and riveted panels like we've already discussed. So yeah, they basically are just mostly for show and decoration, makes your tank a bit more realistic and more detailed. This is like the German machine gun. But yeah, see already this abomination of a tank is coming together. Structural, you've got like metal plates, and these metal plates have armor values that they do increase the armor of your tank. So you can see 13 over there. Okay, it's not showing it, but it does have an effect. If you go and make it thicker, let's just select something a bit more looking. It doesn't show the effect, but it does have an effect. This metal plates, they do add armor to your tank. Bunch of other things, more of the fenders that you can add on the sides. Some ribbon. What I was going to say before I got so rudely cut off was that you can add rivets, give it a bit more a realistic or detailed look. Or if you have like early war vehicles, they used rivets instead of welding or cast. And also you can attach stuff like attachment points or hooks and handlebars. Yeah, I'm just testing the vehicle, doing some final fiddling and seeing how it's performing. And I will also later add on the armor for the vehicle because I did not do that. Another important thing which Sprocket has done pretty interesting or nicely, or I would say accurately, I guess, is how the weight changes as things get thicker or thinner, and also how fast your turret will rotate, or how your gun elevation and stuff goes with the different torques you have, or either having it hand cranked or not. Also having the ratios changed also affects the speed at which things can move, and also how long it takes to reach that maximum rotational speed or traverse speed. Yeah, I'm just basically showing you that you can achieve a lot in Sprocket. You can make a lot of cool builds, and you can also import some other builds that other people have made. If you have the blueprints, there is a Sprocket Discord server where you can go and in the blueprint sharing channel, you can go and get some blueprints for free that people have made and go and test them out. So I will be leaving a link to the Sprocket Discord server in my description, as well as a link to my personal Discord server. If you would like to join, that would be very appreciated. So here I had shown the Centurion Mark III someone made, and also a Challenger 2 Tess with very realistic armor values and performance. It is also very detailed. So if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more of this sort of content, please leave a comment. And if you want to see some more tank stuff, you can watch some of my War Thunder videos about tanks. And then I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching and goodbye.